Negotiation skills went by the wayside in real estate the past few years because the market was so fast and furious. And now being able to negotiate not only for your client, but more importantly, with your client when moving ahead can be more important than ever. I'm going to break down the most important negotiation skills you need to have next. So if you get some value out of this and you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. And if you want to schedule a call with us about how we can set you up in the same way, you can do that with the link in the comments. So negotiating skills, right? It's something a lot of people have let go by the wayside. And in this new era of signing buyer agency agreements before touring homes, you've got to be able to negotiate with buyers. You've got to be able to negotiate with sellers. This has always been the case on what price you're going to list the home, what the compensation looks like, the term of the contract. All these things are a negotiation. And if you don't have the right skills and the right delivery, it can end up hurting that and causing you not to move ahead. So, anytime someone wants to negotiate, I'm a big believer in don't negotiate against yourself. Ask them what they're looking for. Don't give a number. Don't start cutting the price, cutting compensation, changing the term. Just ask them, hey, what did you have in mind in order for us to move ahead? That's going to be your starting point, because when that happens, you might be able to protect some of your compensation. You might be able to protect the price that you want to list the home, protect the term of the contract. So asking them, instead of just throwing out numbers and starting to negotiate without understanding where they stand, can be very effective. So making sure you ask versus negotiating and throwing out numbers without any sort of context can be a very effective strategy, both for clients and with clients. The second strategy is to give options, right? Optionality, as Sam Hinkie would say, for all my Sixers fans out there, is something that's important. People want to know what options are in front of them. If you tell them you should do this, we have to do that, that's bad language. That's not the right way to set these things up. So channeling your inner Phil Jones and saying, hey, we've got 3 options. We can do X, Y, or Z. Which one's going to be easier for you? Knowing that you can explain each one of those options and walk through it. That's an effective strategy. People always want to know what their options are. Then while you're doing this, it's really important to stay calm, to be friendly, and make sure you've got rapport. And when you're doing that and you're just having a conversation like you normally would, don't raise your voice. Don't adjust the tone of your language. Don't have bad body language if it's in person where you're saying like, oh, or rolling your eyes or whatever you're doing. You want to smile, listen, make eye contact, and stay friendly. Remember, they're asking you these questions because they want to work with you, not the other way around. So staying friendly and making sure you have rapport built is going to go a long way when you're negotiating with clients and with other agents. Number 4, and this might be one of the most important, is to constantly bring it back to the motivation. Constantly bring it back to how everybody wins, because the negotiation is a means to an agreement. The agreement gets the client where they want to go. So I'm going to say that again. The negotiation is a means to an agreement. The agreement gets the client where they want to go. So by listing your home, that's going to get you into your great new property that you just bought that's closer to your kids. And my focus is to make sure we get you there and get you as much money as we can for the home so we can move ahead in this way. Does that sound okay to you? Right? So what you're doing there is you're focusing on the most important thing, not the fees or the compensation or a month off the listing term or anything like that. It's what they want out of this whole experience. Because remember, buying and selling real estate is very stressful. It's one of the top 5 most stressful things people go through. So if you're talking about how to take the stress out of it, getting them to their end game, that's going to allow people to see the bigger picture here, because they wouldn't be negotiating with you if they didn't want to work with you. Then there's the preparation, right? Understanding all the information. This goes for any appointment, and it's really important during a listing or a buyer negotiation with your clients or with the consumer on the other side, because when you know all the sales in the area, when you know what's happening in the market, you understand what the Fed rate cut means, all those things, when you have deep knowledge and you've prepped and have the data at your fingertips, or better yet, if you can't remember it all, have it in front of you. Have notes. Just make sure you know what you're talking about and can deliver it confidently. That's going to help you get to the end of the negotiation where it's a win for everybody, meaning you got the business, You got the deal closed, the client gets what they want, and hopefully they're writing you a great 5-star review. Preparation will allow you to get there with additional information. And lastly, be aware of timing. Are there deadlines that your client needs to meet? Are there deadlines around capital gains tax or a new home being built or something that getting their kids into school? There could be a lot of deadlines that are time sensitive to the consumer or to the transaction. The better you can adhere to those and make sure that the schedule stays in place, the more successful the negotiation is going to be. So I know this may all sound basic. When you get your negotiation skills to level 4 or 5, meaning unconsciously competent or mastery, then you're going to be able to move ahead, win more business, have more happy clients that will refer you out. The negotiation process, you have a lot of control over. Just make sure you follow these steps here to get you and your clients exactly where you want to go.